Hey guys, welcome back. Time has finally come that I'm going to build a roll cage for the Blazer. So I've got some ideas. I'm going to show you those in a little bit, and it's going to be a little bit different of a cage, but I think it's going to work out all right, or I think it's going to work out really good. I think it's going to do exactly what I want it to do. So, you know, because the X brace in here, it's going to make it really hard for people to sit back here. So I have a couple ideas to make it roomy but still be strong and everything. But first thing I got to do before I start doing anything is take all of this stuff out. This is all my recovery gear and my tools, my spare parts. It's all just been chilling down here because I still need to make a storage rack, but I wanted to wait until I got a cage in it to build that storage rack because I kind of want to tie it into the cage. And I'm still going to be using the same storage rack I had before I rolled it. I'm just going to tie it into the cage, and yeah, I think it's going to work out really good. So the first thing I'm going to do is just empty all this stuff out, and then I'll show you guys some of the ideas I have and how I'm going to make this cage work. So alright, so this is what I got so far. I didn't show any of it. I'll show doing the other side. I just wanted to figure it out. Yeah, so comes out right here, down to that support on the slider that I was talking about. Comes through the floor, comes up, it bends again, comes out the roof. So that ties rock slider all the way up to the roof, because all the X bracing and cross bracing and stuff is going to be on the roof, and then it's going to have supports and seatbelt bar and stuff in here. So the seatbelt bar is going to go, you know, about right there somewhere across it, and then it's going to have an X here and a thing here. But as you can see, this is what I was talking about earlier. So this, if I put an X brace right here, the passenger seat is not going to have very much leg room. So in order to overcome that problem, I'm doing something like this. So this is that bar that's already in there, it just bent. Then the seatbelt bar, and then the top's just going to have an X, and the bottom is going to have like a hoop with some ladder bar support in it to give the passengers enough leg room. So I'm not 100% sure on how I'm doing that yet, but I think that's how I'm going to do it. But I'm going to get the stuff I know I need first. So the two uprights, seatbelt bar, and then from there I can kind of look at it and actually sit in there and see, you know, what's the best way going to do that. So I'm going to get another one of those made. Well, first I'm going to drill some more holes into the other side. I'll show you guys that, and then I'll show them making this upright, and I'll get it in, then I can start tacking them together and making the cross better. But I gotta notch this first for the roof bar as well. So yeah, I'll drill some holes on the other side first. So I got an 1 5/8" hole saw here. It's just barely bigger than 1.5 inches. Give me just a little bit of room. And so I know it's going to be an 1 5/8" hole, so I mark where I want the hole by drawing this square. So I know I want it right there and 1/2 inch off of this body line. So I draw a 1 5/8" square and put an X in it, and then that gives me the center for my hole saw. So now I can drill that out. It's 3 layers thick right here, so I just drill it out layer by layer. And then I gotta drill one hole through the floor into the rock slider, and then do the same thing, bend the tube. Now what I did is took a tape measure, stuck it in here, and that's where it needs to sit. So I was just looking, so it needs to bend right there at 26 inches, and then up here it needs to bend at 45 inches. So I need to bend at 26, 45, and I need enough to fit in the bender. So 53 inches long, 26, 45, and the bend distance was just kind of trial and error. You know, I bent it a little bit, test fit, bent it, test fit, because I don't really know what angle it is, and I'm not gonna do math or anything like that, so. See? Whoop. Now I gotta go shove it through this hole, which it does not like fitting through. So, oh, and there's a light right here. Dang it! Come on. Yeah. Alright, well, I got these two uprights tacked into place. I already cut the top off. And I got the seatbelt bar tacked in. And then I've just been sitting here playing with tape lines, trying to figure out what I want to do. I think I'm going to go with a little bit different method, but the same kind of look. So I'm going to run this bar, because I noticed when you're sitting back here, that's like perfect for a grab handle for the passengers. So right here and right here is where you're grabbing as a passenger rider. So I want this bar to be straight across, and it'll just add strength, and then I can tie these in, and that way I think it'll disperse the weight from a rollover really well. And as you can see in here, I can't just do a straight X across like most people, because you wouldn't be able to sit here at all. And I want this to be here. I mean, some move this pillar forward to here and then have their seatbelt bar like bend back so it's in the right spot. But this is where it ties into the frame the best, and it just works better right here, so I'm trying to make it work. And I also want to build this cage a little different, because every single cage, you know, in a Cherokee, that's like the closest thing to this would be like a Cherokee or something, but they're all like the exact same, you know. So I want it to be different. I want it to look cool. I want it to be strong, functional, all of that kind of stuff. So I think this is the best of everything, so that I can come up with anyway. I don't know. There's probably better ways to do it, but I think this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut another one of these bars that go straight across to go right here, and then cut some supporting pieces to go right there, and then these cross braces just like that. So okay, and how I've been notching these is, so this is welded seam. So I take the seam, I put it right at the top, and then I just put that right there, just right on the edge. Could actually come in a little bit. Just like that. And then that way I can line it up the same on the other side. So it should fit. So the other one did. This one should as well. didn't notch enough on that one, so I'll have to do it again. Alright, so I got the entire B-pillar and cross bracing all done. So this bar here goes right from the frame all the way up through the roof for my roof bar. And then, yeah, all this. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an update. I've just been working on this thing, and I've just been, yeah, I don't know. It takes so much of my thought process to, you know, figure it out, try to figure out how I'm gonna do it, and then measuring it all and cutting it and notching it, and it's just a lot for me to think about. So I just forgot to video. But I think where we left off is I was getting these in. So this piece is just sitting up here, but so I did cut the top off and bend them. They go right down into here. I still have to add the connector that goes from here down to the frame, so it's tied into the frame rail. And then I got these going from there back to this back bar, both sides. I was going to do something similar to like how I did the middle one, but this is going to be storage rack right here, and I want to be able to get to the storage. So I think this was a good compromise. I think it's going to be plenty strong, and you're going to have a lot easier time getting to your storage. And then I also built this side. Nothing is welded, it's all just sitting here right now. But as you can see, it goes along the roof, bends a little bit there so it keeps the same gap across the whole top, and then it widens a little bit here just to have a little bit more between the windshield, and to kind of smoothly go into being wider for the door. I don't know, because I needed to make it wider here to clear the door, so I think it looks pretty good. And it comes down and then kicks in right here at the bottom and ties right into the slider. One thing I wanted to show you guys is I was pretty happy about this. So I bought one stick, which was 21 feet of DOM, and I cut it in half. Right there, lines right up exactly where I wanted it to. I want it to line up with that line right there, so it's perfect there. And then, as you can see, lines up perfectly with the front of the slider, and that's how much I cut off. So out of the whole 21 foot stick of DOM, that is what I cut off. I'm going to cut this off both sides, obviously, but 1 inch pretty much, that's all I wasted. So I was pretty proud of that. It was also pretty stressful for me just bending this up, because it's not cheap, and if I mess it up I'd have to go buy another stick. So yeah, I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna do the other side tonight, and then tomorrow I'm gonna work on all the cross bracing on the roof and stuff, and I'll try to show more of that process. But yeah, so I'm probably just gonna set up a time lapse of me bending this one, because all I'm using is this bender here, and I gotta do some interesting things to bend it so I can get an angle finder on it and bend all these angles right and everything. So, and this is what I got. So these are all my measurements and bends, and yeah. So that's why I'm going to finish this side tonight, because I still kind of understand what that means. And if I come back tomorrow, I'm probably not going to understand that anymore. So I'm going to set up a time lapse, get this side all bent up and put into place, and I'll show you guys what it looks like, and then I'll probably head home because it's already 10 o'clock and this is probably going to take me an hour or so, so just got to get to it. All right, and there it is. It is as close as I can get it. So it's not perfect, but it is really close. So I'm happy with it. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty dang good. About the same gap. And also another reason why it's not perfect, because obviously I rolled this and this is all smashed in, so the gap here is going to be a little funky, but other than that, looks pretty dang good. So yeah, I'm super happy with how that turned out. So but I'm gonna head home. It is 11:22 so it's getting pretty late, and tomorrow I'm gonna start building the roof cross supports and everything like that. And yeah, I mean, once that's done, that's basically the whole cage done. I just have to go through and weld everything, and I still have 4 sticks left and this piece here. So I think I have plenty of tubing to finish this. I probably actually will have some left over. So yeah, I'm tired, but I'm really happy with how it's coming out, and yeah, I'll get back to it tomorrow. Alright, so it's a new day and I got straight to work, destroying my only white shirt I have. That's kind of white still, but
so
that's besides the point. But I got straight to work, so
little distraction.
I have more energy today than I did yesterday because I'm less stressed. I was kind of stressed out about bending those because I didn't want to mess it up, but today is pretty easy, I think. I just jinxed myself, but I got
wood.
one. There's nothing wood in here. I got one done on the top. I'm working on the crossbars right now. There's gonna be 4 of them, so I got 3 more pieces cut to the right length that I need. So this is kind of my idea here. There's gonna be the 4 that go across, and I'm doing like a ladder bar across the roof because I did it on the inside of the cage, and I think it'd be cool to kind of do one on the roof, and it's stronger as well, which is always a good thing. And I'm going to run one down the center and then kind of like that, I think. So My original plan was to kind of do something like this. So I got my 2 bars, back bar, middle bar, front bar, run one down the middle, and then, you know, exit. That was my original idea because I like that. And then it's got the window bars down here. I like that, but I don't know, everyone does that. So I'm gonna do it something a little bit different. This isn't to dimension. It's gonna be longer than this. It's not a square, it's a rectangle. But yeah, I need to build 3 more of those, and then I can start working on these. I gotta cut 5 like 3-inch things with notches on both sides of them to make it similar to that one, and then all of those bars. So I'm gonna get all these bent and notched because you have to put a little bit of a bend in it. It also makes it stronger if your roll cage has a little bit of a crown in it, or a peak, I guess. Because if it's flat and you land on your roof, you can just bend down super easy. But if it's got a peak in it and you land on your roof, it takes a lot more to push it past that bend. So every single one, they need to be bent anyways because the roof's curved. But that's also another way to make things stronger, is put a peak in them where it's going to get force. So. Okay, so got all 4 of those made. Yeah, they're all made. This one's a little bit different. It's the same bends, but it's notched, so it sits forward a little bit more so it matches the windshield, and it's a little bit lower because, yeah, I want them to like bend up from this and back to these. But yeah, so the next thing I gotta do is cut out a bunch of little pieces for this. So these connecting pieces in here, there's gonna be 5 of them across the roof, about 3.5 inches between notches. So you get 5 of those cut out, and then I can tack them in here and then center everything, make sure this is in the center of these 2 bars. And then start making, there's gonna be 1 bar going down the center, and then the 2 bars on the edges, creating a big X on the roof. So it's all super strong and looks cool, hopefully. So yeah, now I just need to notch about 1,000 notches to get these made, and then about 1,000 more notches and 500 bends to get the rest of it made. It's gonna be a lot of welding when this is done. So, and I can't weld underneath here, so I'm gonna have to weld the tops of these and then pull the whole top of this cage off and weld it on the bottom as well, and then weld it onto these. So I gotta keep that in mind while I'm building it. The top of this does have to come off so I can weld the bottom side. So. Alright, well, so this is where I've gotten to. You can see I got those 2 bars going across, all the stringers, and I got the straight one and this one in. So this one comes out, bends down right into this corner, lines up with there, and then, you know, that's going to continue forward. That's going to go forward. There's going to be the same thing on this side. And yeah, well, I think that's basically done. There's a few more supports and everything I want to do on the inside as well. And up front behind the fenders, there's going to be some more, and then the windshield. So there's still a lot of work to do, but
all the welding.
Yeah, and a lot of welding. So, all right. Well, unfortunately, that is all the time I have for this video. So, because this video's got to go up tomorrow, so I got to go home and edit it. But we will finish this up in the next video. I'd probably say about 80% of it done. So, if you don't count all the welding, because that's going to take a long time. I got to pull the seats out, the gas tank, so I can do all the welding. But everything's just tacked right now, and I have to still put a windshield into it. So I'm going to call and get a windshield ordered so I can get a windshield in it. I might have to put the windshield in before I weld all this stuff on, because I got to take it off to weld the underside of everything up here, because I'm not going to be able to get the welder in there. So I'll probably put the windshield in with this off and then put this back on and weld it on. So yeah, make sure you guys like and subscribe. It helps out a ton. I still do have merch for sale at my website, hats and stickers, owenbarlow.com. So make sure you guys check that out. That's the best way to support me. And yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this. So stay tuned for the next one.